And welcome again to another edition of John's Media World Extra. I'm John Peterson, podcasting from Madison, Wisconsin. This is a Thursday, and a lot of things have shaken off the trees, and we have a Supreme Court decision we'll get to in just a few moments. But first, the biggest story that we are covering this summer.
It's a summertime splash in the hot, burning sun. Eye reflecting full sea of green, vacation of fun. Peel blue paint and an algae bloom of love.
Yes.
It's a summertime splash in the hot, burning sun.
Oh, yes. And this is the vandal that caused all the destructions. I'm going to play you a video in just a moment. Here is what it looked like. This is what they're basing this whole vandalism on. Here's the video. They came with a poster, a warrant for their arrest of this individual. Now, let's see if we can even make that individual out. All right, let's play it.
The Department of Interior gave us a look at individuals suspected of vandalizing the reflecting pool. Now, we haven't been able to verify the video, but take a look.
Of course you haven't.
June 19th, a male, blue shirt, reaches in, stays there for a little while. He goes back down, comes back up multiple times.
That's another video,
What's he
by
doing?
the way.
Then a female, white tote bag. She reaches in, needs a better angle, sets the bag down, dives in a little deeper. And we don't know who these people are. No one was stopped or questioned by police, so no arrests. And we don't have the police report yet. But what are they doing with their hands in the pool? Are they cutting the lining? Are they peeling off the paint?
I don't think so.
We don't know if they're committing a crime.
We do know we're watching
they
it.
dropped their wedding ring. The Department of Interior says this, quote, in the video, you're seeing two suspects observed destroying and removing a piece of the lining and attempting destruction of the lining. This incident took place on June 19, 2026, and we are investigating. Destroying, injuring, defacing, or removing cultural or architectural resources is a federal crime.
It's a piece of junk floating in the water. That's what it is now, anyway. It's just a piece of paint. That's it. Now, here's what Representative Ted Lieu posted about this. All right, this is the post by Ted Lieu. He wrote, thank you for confirming, number one, there are cameras monitoring the reflecting pool. That should have come out a long time ago, right? Number two, no one entered and made a 350-foot gash. Number three, no one dumped massive amounts of fertilizer in a 6.5 million gallon pool. And because if anybody did, Trump would have been shoving that video in our faces. So that's the post, and I think we now have it confirmed that it really wasn't vandalized. At least that's how we're looking at it here. Now, this is reporter Anderson Cooper on the motorcade effect. Now, I got a comment recently about this that we didn't feature, that we didn't really talk about the motorcade. It's really, I think, an important issue to discuss, and Anderson Cooper did finally get an expert to talk about that. Watch.
However, there's been speculation or questions raised online asking if the presidential motorcade driving in the pool during the construction in early May, along with other equipment, may have caused or contributed to the problem with the blue coating. Recently, Adam Kovac, a reporter with Scientific American, wrote, quote, the bottom of the pool may also have been affected by the presence of heavy equipment and trucks and a presidential motorcade that drove through at one point while the coating was being prepared and applied.
That's right.
Adam Kovac joins me now. So you talked to engineers and pool experts. What did they say about the possible impact of the motorcade, other equipment driving over the reflecting pool during its when it was put down and after?
So that could be just one of many factors that caused what we've been seeing over the last couple of days. Probably by itself, it wouldn't be enough. But there's a few things that are going on in terms of, the material that's been floating to the top. It's a material called polyurea, it forms watertight seals. And so there's questions about how it was applied, whether the material underneath, the concrete, was properly prepped for the first coating, because you have to apply several coats. And so you have to be very careful with how you apply those additional coats, and you have to be kind of careful with how the material is treated. So if there was heavy machinery like a motorcade driving over it, that could affect whether water could seep in and then affect the structural integrity of the coating.
That's what I'm thinking.
And in terms of the layers of coating have to be applied within a certain amount of time, is that right?
That's what a number of chemists and just experts in kind of pool waterproofing told me. You have somewhere between, it can be like 3 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, depending on the variety of polyurea that you're working with. But they essentially bonds with the previous layers that have already been layered down to kind of create one substance. But you have to be applying it correctly and following the manufacturer's instructions very closely. And if you don't do that, then you're not going to get the watertight seal that you're going for.
Now, what I heard, it takes about 15 hours that you have to at least get that second coat on or third coat or whatever. You have to get it on. Now, when you think about it, the size of that pool, trying to cover all of that within that time period, all of it, and get those layers on at the exact right time. That's huge. I don't even know how they managed to do it. Maybe that's why it wasn't done correctly. All right, well, anyway, that's my theory. Here's someone recording, by the way, that deep gash, that cut in the flag blue lining, which is oddly highly visible. It looks to me like it's cracking paint as it contracts, but I'm just a home handyman. Let's watch.
Look, I don't know whether or not that sediment or algae or whatever it is, I don't know why it's gathering like that, but it does look like, maybe that's where the cut has been made, or there's something going on like around here where some sizable, I don't know why the sediment would gather there like that. Maybe, I'm not an expert, but maybe that's where some gash was gashed.
No.
If you feel what I mean.
I'm not feeling it, man, but I think it's paint separating because you can see that there's a lot of paint that kind of separated at the bottom around that crack. So that's my guess, home handyman opinion, that's all. At least one pool watcher used extreme common sense. Let's watch this. There he is. There's a trooper standing there. He's keeping guard, making sure no one's vandalizing the pool. Oh, wait, just behind him there are children, 2 children, splashing the water, reaching over the edge. Oh my gosh, and Mom is watching that fiasco happen right before her very eyes. Why didn't he arrest her for letting those kids break the law? Well, he used common sense. He didn't do anything, and I am really appreciative of that. I am. All right, now let's get to something that is really important. An engineering question about all of this. Finally, we have the answer.
Speaker, the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool requires a civil engineering plan. First, replace the fractured subterranean pipes. Underground, the pool's 12-inch supply and return lines are deteriorated. They leak an estimated 16 million gallons of water every year, and the mall site actually sits in a floodplain related to drainage into the Potomac River. Water pressure pushes upward against the floor, forcing paint and sealant to blister, pop, and peel off. Second, stabilize the lateral soil movement. While the 2012 overhaul stopped the pool sinking downward, it did not solve the side-to-side shifting. The pool sits on the Potomac River mudflats that continuously ooze and shift laterally. Third, re-engineer the expansion joints for shifting. A 2,000-foot concrete pad naturally expands and contracts like an accordion in freezing winter weather, and engineers have to install heavy, flexible water stops that seal gaps while letting slabs move without tearing. And finally, drainage. Proper drainage and soil stabilization are required to manage runoff and prevent groundwater from seeping through the basin and compromising the concrete. It isn't a vandalizing problem. It's an engineering problem. It can be solved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
And that's what Trump avoided, engineering. Just hires somebody who does pools and lay that flag blue down. And it didn't quite work out the way they had planned anyway. Now, here's a MAGA that would probably be happy eating worms or living in a box if Trump said worms tasted good and boxes are a sign of God's love. Let's watch.
Made it down to the reflecting pond, and it's blue, baby. Yes, God bless America. The question I have for the liberals, especially the miserable ones out here wearing their algae outfits that are celebrating the algae that they put in there.
You know, they don't look so miserable, and I think they're having some fun with it.
What are you running for? Do you have any policies other than hating President Trump, hating ICE, and hating babies?
I mean, really, where do we start with our policies? I mean, you guys don't care and you don't listen, and you're very happy with whatever Trump tells you.
That seems to be all the Democrats run on anymore.
No.
God bless America. Looks beautiful.
Oh, God bless.
You don't have to be a miserable liberal. You too can be happy.
We're not
Reject
miserable.
the lies, reject the hate, invite Jesus into your heart. Not jihad,
There it
not
is.
communism. You need Jesus. Rashida, you need Jesus. Enjoy the blue, baby. Beautiful blue.
Isn't that amazing? Truly, I mean, that is Christian nationalism at its most extreme, and that's the kind of nation they want to turn us into and have logic and reasoning just like that because, you know, God sent us Trump, and if Trump says it's good, by gosh, it better damn well be good for you. All right, let's get to the big Supreme Court decision that happened today. The Supreme Court allowed Donald Trump to end temporary deportation protections for hundreds of thousands of foreign nationals from Haiti and Syria that have endured war and natural disasters. They've settled down in this country. They've been here since 1990 or so. They are working. They have homes, families, kids in college and in school all over the country. Now, they may be deported in the next 5 or 6 days. All right. What started this, though? Believe it or not, it's what happened in Springfield, Ohio. Remember that? The Haitian immigrant outrage of eating pets. That's what sparked this administration to go all the way up to the Supreme Court to get these people out of our country. Here's a song that was very popular at that time.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else.
All right, you got a sample of that. You can check that out on Spotify. You can buy the video from a guy named The Kiffness. All right, just to give him a little promo there. Now, there is a statement that was just put out by Representative Maxwell Frost, and he has a message to the immigrants, the Haitians and Syrians that are in this country on temporary status.
I have terrible news. The Supreme Court has sided with the Trump administration on a terrible decision that will rip away temporary protective status from Haitians and Syrians in the United States. This was a 6-3 Supreme Court decision along political and ideological lines, and it now means that over 6,000 Syrians and over 350,000 Haitians on TPS, temporary protective status, are now at risk of immediate deportation. This is a terrible decision nationwide, but especially in our community of Central Florida, where we have so many Haitian Americans who live with us. These are our neighbors. These are our caretakers. These are our teachers. These are our people that now are at risk of immediate deportation, regardless of what they do in our community, regardless of the fact that they have families, regardless of the fact that they are our neighbors. And there's two things I want you to know. The first is that in the House of Representatives, Representative Ayanna Pressley, myself, and a few others pushed the force of vote to protect TPS for Haitians, and we won here in the House of Representatives. We are pushing to have this heard in the Senate, and we need your help to reach out to U.S. senators and say, pass TPS for Haiti so we can protect the over 350,000 of our neighbors that are at risk of immediate deportation. But the second thing is also very immediate, and it's the fact that right now, many people in our own community are asking themselves, what's going to happen? Right. What's going to happen to myself? What's going to happen to my dad? What's going to happen to my mom? What's going to happen to our family? Because remember, many of the families in Central Florida that are on TPS are mixed status families. This doesn't just mean that maybe one person gets deported. You could see entire families ripped apart at the seams. Some having to go back to Haiti, some staying here, or all of them deciding to leave. And it is going to be important for us as a community to step up to wrap our arms around our Haitian brothers, sisters, and siblings. Our office will be convening local Haitian clergy, advocacy groups on immigration, legal aid groups, food assistance, and many other things, so we can come together to figure out how can we help our neighbors in this moment that is so disturbing and devastating. I'll have more updates for you on how we're going to fight to protect TPS for Haiti, but also how we're going to deal with this situation right now as a community. But to my Haitian family all across Central Florida, I want to let you know we love you, we're with you, we're going to fight with you, and I am so sorry that our government is engaged in this project of ethnically cleansing this country of black and brown people, and you and your family have been caught in the middle. I will fight with you, I will fight for you, I love you, and we're in this together. Que me la. Hold strong, and God bless you.
All right. Now, one of the big problems, of course, was the fact that we never had immigration reform. This would have been taken care of. Once you're in this country, even on a temporary basis, you have to make money, you have to get a job, maybe even settle down, start a family. All of that naturally happens, and we should have at least planned for that and then gave them the ability to become U.S. citizens. It's not skipping in line. You had special favors only because you had problems in your home country, a war, natural disaster. But now you've settled in this country. We should have had immigration reform all along. Republicans never, ever wanted to reform it. They hate having immigrants in this country, and Trump is doing exactly what they've wanted to do for at least 3 or 4 decades. So that's the problem we have. And if the Democrats get in charge somehow, they have to reform immigration and start allowing people back into this country, because that is our strength. That's it for today on John's Media World Extra. We'll have more, and again, we'll talk.